Well, we are still looking at the races to make sure that we get an exact count of who's going to be in control of the House by how much, and who's going to be in control of the Senate by how much, and who's going to be in control of the states by how much. So far, things look like there's going to be more Republicans in control of states than Democrats. And it looks like there's going to be more Republicans than Democrats in the House. And it looks like a tie in the Senate. Not my official conclusion, just saying how it looks now. We're still following it. But one conclusion that we can draw now is that the division in America didn't get any better. So in 2016, they said that the election was a big difference. You were voting for two versions of America, and that election divided the country in 2016, and you had permanently two sets. Now in 2022, 6 years later, 2016, 20, they're still saying the results of the election are two separate Americas. So they said in 2016 it was two separate Americas, and in 2022 they said it's two separate Americas. And when we look at the election results, it kind of does look like two polar opposite Americas. Let me show you. Now, these were the articles in 2016, two Americas. The divide between people who like Trump and not Trump was so stark. Two separate, radical, different visions of the country, 2016. Two Americas now, same thing. Washington Post, New York Times said it. But now we look at the year 2022, and Atlantic, a major policy magazine, said right before the election, it's still the divided states of America. November 8th, 2022, right before the election, still very much divided. After the election on November 10th, we had an article by Joel Kotkin where he says it's this tale of two Americas. Virtually nowhere in blue areas did Republicans make gains, but the Northeast and California. Even the most well-regarded GOP candidates, such as Lanny Chin, who ran for state controller, struggled to make inroads. Meanwhile, senators and governors of the leading red states all won handily. So senators and governors of red states all won. In the blue states, almost no Republicans won. So what he was saying, there wasn't really a competition. If you were hardcore red, you voted hardcore red. If you were hardcore blue, you voted hardcore blue. We're two separate, divided Americas because of that. He's not alone. American Thinker, conservative publication, also said we're basically two separate Americas where, one can't see living with the other and the other can't see living with them. And it doesn't stop there, because when we look at midterm election results for the 2022, 48 Dem to 48 GOP. There's no majority there. That's half to half. And that's updated as of right now. Let's take a look at the House. 209 to 217. There's about 8 seats difference between the two of them. Republicans will dominate, but 209 to 217, that's damn near tied. Looking at the Senate, damn near tied. Looking at governor, 24 to 25. So how come it's 24 to 25 and it's 209 to 217, which is almost the same, and it's 48 to 48? Unless we're living in two separate Americas. I literally showed you how they said in 2016 it's two separate Americas. Then you have articles in 2022 now saying it's two separate Americas. And then I showed you the election results as they're still being tabulated, where it's almost 50-50 red, blue on everything, House, Senate, or state governorship. We're two separate countries that cannot come together on anything, and where we can't get a clear majority on anything. Biden did not win a clear majority. Yes, the red wave did not materialize, but the Democrats did not hold on to what they had. And there was no majority red wave, and there was no majority blue wave. And I will also point out that I think it was 2 years ago, the Democrats said there was going to be a blue wave, and there wasn't. So there was a Democratic blue wave that never materialized. There was a red wave that never materialized. And where we've been over the last 6 years, from 2016 to literally up to a minute ago today, 50-50 House, 50-50 Senate, 50-50 states. And everybody's saying 6 years ago, were polarized into two separate nations, and it still looks exactly the same 6 years later. What that means is America's not working and it's falling apart. Just showed you hard evidence. Consider that.